This is our assignment on the. This is our presentation on the assignment. I'm going to hand you over to Ella to do a bit.
So looking at pre-construction, we're looking to develop a possible wildlife centre next to Pride Park, near the velodrome and the football stadium. So here are 6 different types of environmental features which could impact the environment. Firstly, the roundhouse. This is a historic building, which is a Grade 2 listed building. It was built in 1839 and it's the longest standing roundhouse in the country. Second is the Derwent River, which is 66 miles long, starting from Matlock to Derby.
There's an insect bank which habitats a variety of insects. We also have, inside the sanctuary, there's a skylark which it holds a brown bird, which is the skylark. The sand martin is one of the smallest birds in Europe, and it only repopulates on the sandy cliffs of the riverbank. And then the gravel area was created to make sure that no plants would come through to disrupt repopulation. And then we've got pre-construction. So during pre-construction, there'll be a lot of vehicles going onto site, checking to see. So you have the geotechnical surveyors going in, doing boreholes to make sure that the pH levels during the ground are stable, not sustainable. I'll just say stable, and they'll make sure that they check to make sure the water table in the soil is safe enough for the bearing load of the building. And then during construction, there'll be vehicles also going on site, but there'll also be a lot of noise due to the construction of the building, and this will make the repopulation of the birds difficult, because the noise, and this would really affect the great crested newt, because they are very endangered. So we have to consider this, and then during post-construction, it will be all the cleaning up of the old materials, and this will make sure that this will make sure to clean up the materials so that none of the wildlife will get damaged. I'll now pass you over to Sarah for maths.
When converting the map to check the perimeter, as you can see on the screen, when you convert it from scale, you can see the measurements. That would be scale was changing to the width of the river. The area was 40,208.721 meters squared. The perimeter was 826.08 meters. The volume of the river is 40,208.72 times by 3 equals 626.163 meters cubed.
During human comfort, there are 4 major types of human comfort. There's thermal, light, sound, and humidity. Humans need to work in certain temperatures to be able to thrive. 21 to 25 degrees is the average temperature a building should be at for a human to thrive. Light needs to be at approximately 500 lux, as any higher may hurt the eye, and any lower can cause the eye to strain. Humidity needs to be between 40 to 70%, and sound at 60 decibels. PMV is the predicted mean vote between males and females, which is the stage before designing a building. Women prefer warmer temperatures, whereas men prefer cooler. Between 21 and 25 is where both genders will again thrive. And this can all depend on gender and age, as they both affect the predicted mean vote. Then there's PVD, which is percentage of people dissatisfied, which is when surveys are taken where the building is being occupied. And then from that you'll get an overall average that you can base the predicted mean vote on. And then, as there are 4 types of human comfort, there are only 3 equations. There's heat loss, basic lighting, and then there should be a sound attenuation
Here is the underpinning concept relating to structure under load. So this is dead loads, wind loads, imposed loads, compressive strength, tensile strength, shear stress, and bending stress. These are all factors to consider within a building and a home. It's wind stress will be considered to make sure to check how much wind, to check the force of wind hitting the house if the house is stable enough to hold itself. You also have dead loads, which would be a wall or something, which would just it would consider you'd need to consider this because it'd be holding up the roof, and you'd also need this to try and design the foundation to make sure it's got a strong enough bearing load. And then you've also got and then with bending load, you need to make sure this is for houses, but it could also use for the walls to make sure that it's in the walls. The roof would be considered to make sure that the structure can hold the weight of the roof, so none of the walls would start to deform or bend. And then you also have tensile strength, which is the resistance of the structure, to make sure there is no deformity or breaking of the house or building. And then qualitative and quantitative terms, as Alex said earlier, quantitative is the amount, so 40 to 70% humidity and 21 to 25 degrees. That's it's just saying a little bit about what you need, what the optimum for humans to thrive at. And then qualitative is just saying how you'd use these in a building to thrive. So 40 to 70% humidity, you need to make sure that it was not in a moist. If it was in a moist area, it'd be a lower temperature to make sure the humidity's lower down. But if it's in a hotter area and it's dryable, then you'd want to keep it in the middle for thrive. And as Alex said earlier, it's different ages, different heights, different weights. You've got all these things to consider for temperature and all these qualitative and quantitative terms. And then desk study.
Desk study is initially the process of planning. This is where surveyors check if previous pipe work is in the ground and if so, how deep it is. This helps to see where you can place foundations. Desk study also involves checking pH levels of soil types to ensure that that the ground is safe enough to construct on. Site walkover allows surveyors to have a first-hand perspective of the ground and taking samples of soil to assess if the site is durable enough to build on. And in geotechnical property, samples of soils are taken and pH levels are checked. This will be assigned to soil engineers when they go onto site walkover. The investigations taking place involve foundation recommendations, frost depth and bearing capacity of the soil.
Subsoil will be able to check the contamination to make sure whether you will need to make sure what foundation will be designed. These will determine the types of foundation or if there will be any excavation required. CDM regulations aim to improve health and safety. They will do this by meticulously planning the project, making sure there are no risks. Everyone upon the work site or within the project, they will have their own responsibilities. Building regulations is required in all building work sites within Britain and England under the Building Acts of 1984. These are used to make sure that the work site is a safe place to work on and that nobody can be harmed.